I'm Miguel de Leon, and I am a master's candidate in the Occupational Workforce Leaderships program at Texas State University in San Marcos, Texas. I recently completed my undergraduate degree in May 2023 at Texas State, and while in the ALS program, I was introduced to many different leadership styles, traits, and behaviors. While in the program, I got to practice and observe other leaders in my daily work. While I served as president-elect, president, and past president of our employee association group of about 1,000 people. I am currently in my second term as past president, and in this role, I lead a team of officers and council members with prioritizing and setting goals for the association, presided over meetings, represented the association to the board of trustees, chancellor's cabinet, and served as spokesperson for the general council meetings. Anyone who takes responsibility for finding the potential in people and processes and who has the courage to develop the potential. Brown 2018, page 4. Conversation or a meeting defined by commitment to lean into vulnerability, to stay curious and generous, stick with the messy middle of the problem identification and solving, to take a break and circle back when necessary, to be fearless in owning our parts. Brown 2018, page 10. Dr. Brene Brown during one of my leadership courses, and I had purchased Dare to Lead and Atlas of the Heart as part of my library. I had not found the time to read either of them, so when the opportunity came, I knew this would be the book I would want to dive into and critique. I wanted this book in my library because as a leader for our employee association for the past 5 years, I have had to engage with the administration and have those courageous conversations in the areas of campus equity across the district and employee safety. It can be very scary at times, especially when I still need to stay employed, but still want to do the right thing and maintain my integrity, even in the face of adversity. I feel like this book will help me better engage and learn to rumble with vulnerability. Brown 2018, page 23 to 24, to engage with others to get problems solved smoother and quicker. Dr. Brown's main goal, as she states, is to share her 2 decades of research and experience into an actionable book about what it takes to be a daring leader. Brown 2018, page 3. As for writing this book, the first for her is to become a better leader, and because she states, I want to live in a world with brave, bolder leaders, and she wants to be able to pass that kind of world on to her children. Brown, page 10. For this book, she used data collected over the last 20 years, new research from 150 global corporate level leaders, program evaluation research from the Brave Leaders Incorporated courage building work, and data from her 3-year instrument development studying on daring leadership. Dare to Lead, in my opinion, is the step-by-step guide to engage in the leadership, not just sitting in a position of leadership and never engaging. If you lack experience or an opportunity to engage in corporate boardroom, this is a great book for any graduate candidate to learn to get into the arena and engage properly. I also recommend this book for people in leadership positions that don't quite yet have the courage to engage with others and who sit quietly on the sidelines. This book will teach you the courage to be vulnerable and how to embrace the suck. Brown, 2018, page 10. In her research for this book, Dr. Brown looks to answer the question of what, if anything, about the way people leading today needs to change in order for leaders to be successful in a complex, radically changing environment where faces with seemingly intractable challenges and insatiable demand for innovation. The answer to that question, based on our interviews, was we need braver leaders and more courageous cultures. Brown 2018, page 6. With this question and answer, her team identified 10 cultural and behavioral issues leaders have identified as getting in the way of the organization. With that data of barriers, her team developed courage building skills based on interviews, developed instruments, and they tested them on MBA students, improved on them, and tested again. Key findings on courage is that it leads to skill sets that can be taught, measured, and observed. Those 4 skill sets are rumbling with vulnerability, living into our values, braving trust, and learning to rise. Brown 2018, page 11. Her book takes readers through these four skills so that they can learn to overcome the organizational barriers they face. Dr. Brown's book. It is evident that she is knowledgeable, trustworthy, and her data is useful to many organizations and leaders globally. The information she shares in this book is very clear, concise, and packed with resourceful information. As a now famous social worker and social scientist for over 20 years, her new stardom required herself to dive into her own organizational and leadership strengths and found the need to develop and thrive in her additional role. This book is structured into four easy-to-follow sections, one for each skill set mentioned in the beginning of this presentation. Each section is broken down further into smaller subsections to dive more deeply into the skills and behaviors. The book is filled with additional resources in the back of the book that is broken down by order of chapter with all references and citations. In the article, 9 Team Leadership Skills That Get Results, Baker 2023 notes that trustworthiness is built on skills such as communication and listening. Dr. Brown confirms this in her study through grounded theory, reviewing John Gotten's research, who is credited with the phrase sliding door moments. Moments like paying attention, listening, and gestures of genuine care and connection. Trust, she states, is the stacking and layering of all small moments and reciprocal vulnerability over time. Brown, 2018, page 32 through 34. Todorovich, 2019, in his article on 14 core leadership values of successful leadership also supports these findings. He notes that with empathy, you can start building trust and stronger relationships as you're helping them. Looking at value-based leadership approaches, Gleason 2021 recognizes 5 attributes to this style of leadership. As a former Navy SEAL and author, he states self-reflection, balance, humility, authenticity, and continuous improvement are attributes in value-based leadership. The benefits of this style are stronger relationships, improved communication, and higher performance level. Dr. Brown addresses values in Section 2 of Living Out Our Values. Her research supports Gleason's 5 attributes, and most can be viewed on her value list as well. Brown 2018, page 188. In the section Taking Values from BS to Behavior, she notes only 10% of organizations have operationalized their values into teachable, observable behaviors. And in order to operationalize values, you have to be willing to teach employees these skills they need to show up in ways that align with those values and then create a culture in which you hold one another accountable. Brown, 2018, page 190. A key finding she mentions on values and choosing courage over comfort. There are 8 seconds of intense discomfort. The discomfort may linger after, but the part of the ride has settled down. Brown, 2018, page 192 to 193. In finalizing what is gleaned from the research, Dr. Brown notes that the level of collective courage in an organization is the absolute predictor of that organization's ability to be successful in terms of its culture and develop leaders and to meet its mission. The greatest challenge in developing brave leaders is helping them acknowledge and answer their personal call to courage. And lastly, we fail the minute we let someone else define success for us. Brown, 2018, page 271. Dare to Lead is a very revitalizing book that brings actionable skills and behaviors to the reader's imagination. Many journal articles write about what to do and why, but rarely do they explain how. This book not only gives insight from the research perspective and how to build courage, but also how it has transformed Dr. Brown in her own leadership. It's easy to see oneself navigating leadership with courage and embracing those 8 seconds of discomfort so that the goals of the organization and greater good are reached and realized. This book is a major contribution to the leadership literature already out there because it is backed by qualitative data from one of the most well-known data scientists to study in this field. Thank you all for watching, and as always, feedback is welcome and encouraged. Check, like, and drop a comment. References: Brown, Dare to Lead, Daring Greatly, and Rising Strong at Work. Baker, Team Leadership Skills That Get Results. Leaders Online magazine. Gleason, 5 Attributes and Benefits of Value-Based Leadership. Forbes Online Magazine. Todorovich, Leadership Values, 14 Core Values of Successful Leaders. LinkedIn Online.